Stop filling your life with noise, a life-changing story that will realign your priorities. What if the real reason we feel overwhelmed isn't because we have too much to do, but because we've either forgotten what truly matters? What if life was never meant to be about doing more, but about choosing better? And what if peace doesn't come from an empty schedule, but from a full heart? In a quiet, sunlit classroom one morning, students were shuffling in with notebooks, phones, and tired eyes. The usual clamor of conversations filled the space. But then the door opened, and the room hushed. Their professor walked in, not with books or notes, but carrying a large, clear glass jar. It was empty, transparent, simple. In his other hand he held several large rocks. Without saying a word, he placed the jar on the table and began slowly placing each rock inside, one after another, deliberate, steady, until no more could fit. Then he turned to the class and asked, "Is the jar full?" The students exchanged amused glances. "Yes, sir," most replied confidently. "It's full." But the professor simply smiled. He reached under the table again, and brought out a small bag of pebbles. Without speaking, he poured them into the jar. The pebbles fell through the spaces between the big rocks. He gently shook the jar, letting them settle. "Now is it full?" Some students hesitated this time. "Yes," one ventured. "It looks full now." But the professor wasn't done. He pulled out a bag of sand, and slowly, carefully, began to pour it into the jar. The fine grains slipped between the rocks and the pebbles, filling the tiny spaces in between, like time slipping through unnoticed hours. "Full now." Laughter bubbled up in the room. "Maybe not yet," someone said. And sure enough, he reached for one last thing, a small mug of water. He poured it slowly. The water seeped in, saturating the sand, finding space in places no one thought space existed. Now the jar was full. But the professor didn't stop there. He looked at his students, eyes wide, curious, waiting, and began to speak. "This jar," he said, "is your life. The big rocks represent the most important things, the things that truly give life meaning. Your family, your health, the people you love and who love you, your passions, your dreams, your values, the essence of who you are. If everything else was stripped away but these remained, your life would still be full." He tapped the side of the jar. "The pebbles are the other meaningful aspects. Your job, your education, your house, your status, your goals. They matter, but they're not the core. And the sand is all the little things, the distractions, the endless scrolling, the urgent emails, the mindless routines, the arguments that don't matter, the purchases you regret, and the water." He paused, eyes twinkling. "That's the small joys we often overlook. A smile from someone you love, a moment of stillness, a good cup of tea, a walk at sunset, a shared laugh. They seem insignificant, but they're what soften everything else." Then his tone deepened. "Here's the truth most people never realize. If you start by filling your life with sand, with the small stuff, you'll never have space for the rocks. If you spend all your energy on things that don't matter, you'll run out of time for what does. If you let your day be ruled by distractions, you'll look back and realize you've built a life on noise instead of meaning." He paused, letting the weight of his words land. "Place your rocks first. Make time now, not later, for the people and things that truly matter to you. Call your parents, hug your children, rest when your body needs it, dream boldly, love deeply, live honestly. The pebbles will find space around them, and the sand, well, it will always try to sneak in. That's why you have to be intentional, because the world will always ask you to make room for more sand." He looked around the room, now silent with reflection. "And the water," he added gently, "reminds us that even in a full life full of responsibility, ambition, and effort, there's still space for joy, for laughter, for connection, for those small, beautiful moments that make all the difference." Then he said, softer this time, "Life isn't about being busy, it's about being aligned. It's not about having more hours, it's about making those hours count. And in the end, it's not how full your jar was, but what you chose to fill it with. So ask yourself, what are the rocks in your life, and are you giving them the space they deserve? If not, maybe it's time to pour out some sand. Maybe it's time to refill your life, deliberately, lovingly, meaningfully. Place your rocks first, because at the end of the journey, those will be the things that hold the weight of your life. Not the noise, not the sand, not the urgency, but the love, the legacy, the truth of who you are." If this story touched something in you, even just a little, share it. Let it remind someone else that they still have time to choose what matters. And if you'd like more stories that help you reconnect with what's real, subscribe to Stoic Zen, where we explore how to live deeply, simply, and purposefully.